Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, tonight's debate we will start a debate on the motion this house believes the youth should get vaccinated for COVID-19. Before we start, I will emphasize the rule for you. The first is timing. You will need to talk for 7 minutes, and after 1 minute there will be first bell. It means the POI is started, and then the 6th minute there will be a bell again, and this means the POI is ended, and the third bell is the end of discussion. I will ring the bell with my clap twice. The first will be once, the second will be twice, and the third will be 3 times. And I will start counting. I will start the timer when the speaker start talking. Okay, is that clear? Okay, if there is no question, let's start this debate with the government. The opening government will be Rosiana Silfani. Okay, to the opening government, please, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Vawaid. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, for the motion, the House believes the youth should get vaccinated for COVID-19. Until now, the latest data that I got from the government COVID-19 handling website stated that there were 1.57 million people infected with COVID-19 in Indonesia. Since the beginning of the spread of this virus in Indonesia, there has been no decrease in positive patients. Instead, it is increasing every day. The government has taken various ways to reduce the number of transmission of the COVID-19 virus, but it all had no effect at all. Based on CNBCindonesia.com in 2020, World Health Organization stating that the youth group in several countries, including Indonesia, is one of the causes of the increasing positive cases of COVID-19 patients. Young people who feel that they have immune defenses are well bored with health protocols and want to back to normal life. Therefore, the youth group has an important role in suppressing the positive cases of COVID-19. Since January 13, 2021, the Indonesian government has vaccinated the coronavirus against the president of Indonesia. The arrival of the COVID-19 vaccine in Indonesia is also a pros and cons in the community. The youth group is one of the group that strongly refuse to carry out vaccination. People who are not recommended to receive the vaccine are not people who are not recommended to receive the vaccine or are not a priority for the COVID-19 vaccine include children or adolescents under 18 years of age, and people who have certain diseases such as uncontrolled diabetes or hypertension. However, the 18 to 59 years age group is included in the first wave of mass COVID-19 vaccination in Indonesia, while those aged 60 years and over are not prioritized for vaccination. Quote from the website bbc.com, one of the spokesperson for the COVID-19 vaccination said that by giving immunity to residents aged 18 to 59 years, older people can be protected. This age group is the most infected with COVID-19 in Indonesia, covering almost 80% of positive cases is also considered to be more active than older age group. By giving the vaccine against this age group, it is hoped that they already have immunity, so they will not bring the disease to home. Because actually, elderly or over 59 years of age, they have more activities at home. This vaccine is a solution that is considered the most appropriate to reduce the number of cases of SARS-CoV-2 virus infection that causes COVID-19 disease. Although not 100% can protect someone from coronavirus infection, this vaccine can reduce the possibility of severe symptoms and complications due to COVID-19. So for young people, it must be vaccinated because they are an active group who often have activities outside the house. When the young people have been vaccinated, they will indirectly protect the elderly around them. At least with our bodies, being vaccinated will prevent the worst condition caused by the COVID-19 virus. Uh, that's all for me.
Okay,
Thank you.
if there is any POI, because the time will be end soon. There is no POI. Okay. The opening government spent 5 minutes and 53 seconds 5 minutes and 53 seconds, and there is no any rebuttal or POI, any question at all. So we will end this session, the first session from opening government here, and I will end the Zoom and restart it again because the time is running out. After this, the opening opposition should be ready. Okay, let's end the first meeting. Okay, thank you. Okay, we are back now, and the next speaker will be Della, Rahmatul Della. The position is opening opposition. So for Rahmatul Della, the time is yours.
Oke, thank you Mas Vawaid. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Now I will give my statement. I think young people shouldn't give vaccine. Why? Because the elderly are very vulnerable to COVID. Therefore, young people have to give in and put the elderly first. And the elderly are now included in the group of people who get priority for the second phase of COVID-19 vaccination in Indonesia. There are a number
POI
of
started. Go on.
there are the number of reasons why it is important for the elderly to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Geriatric expert Professor Siti Setiati explained that elderly people are more vulnerable to contracting COVID-19 infection than other age groups. Global data shows more than 10.7 million cases of COVID-19 occur in the elderly. COVID-19, which attacks the elderly, is also at risk of becoming severe and resulting in death. As many as 48% of cases died due to COVID-19 occur in the elderly. And Jokowi again reminded, and other side, Jokowi again reminded for us that vaccination must be followed by community discipline in health protocols, such as wearing masks, maintaining physical distance, washing hands, and avoiding crowds of people. I think that's all for my statement. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, is there any POI? Okay. If there is no any POI, I will end this. Della has spent 2 minutes and 49 seconds for the he had conveyed her speech in 2 minutes and 49 seconds, and we will move on to the next speaker, that is the closing government, Septi Triani. Okay, for closing government, Septi Triani, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Vawaid. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I support this motion because the COVID vaccine does not actually make someone free from COVID-19. Someone who has been vaccinated can still be exposed to COVID-19, but not severely, unlike someone who has not been vaccinated. And also, someone who has been vaccinated cannot infect COVID-19 to other people. Vaccination aims to make a person immune system able and quickly to fight the bacteria or virus that cause infection. Some ways to increase endurance are eating nutritious foods, exercising regularly, managing stress well, and getting enough rest. The goal to be achieved by administering the COVID-19 vaccine is to reduce the morbidity and mortality rates due to this virus. Specialist in internal medicine General Hospital Cipto Mangunkusumo National Center, Dr. Seresna Heriawan Sujono said that the elderly who were confirmed positive for the coronavirus had special symptoms.
POI.
Dr. Seresna said symptoms of cough, shortness of breath, or loss of the sense of smell and taste that are generally experienced by COVID-19 patients do not appear at all in the elderly and comorbids who are infected with the coronavirus. Dr. Serenas also mentioned the typical symptoms that appear in the elderly and COVID-19 positive comorbids. That is, 1. Appetite suddenly disappears. 2. Unusual change in behavior occur. And 3. Consciousness is lost. And if you have comorbidities, it will worsen the condition of elderly patients. So the COVID vaccine is really needed in Indonesia with the death toll that continues to increase every day since the beginning of the spread
Yes,
of
there is a POI. Do you accept?
Okay. In the question is, after you explain about the young must be injection of vaccine, do you know the effect of young children after injection vaccine? That's it.
Go ahead. You can answer the question or you can refuse it and go on, speak.
um, there is there is a reason why the COVID-19 vaccine developers choose to do clinical trials first in the adult group. In the case of COVID-19, the risk of experiencing severe symptoms of the disease until death increase with age. So COVID vaccine is also needed for young people. Young people are less likely to get COVID because their immune system is stronger than the elderly, but most young people also do not comply with health protocols because they are considered to have strong immunity. But COVID doesn't look at anyone, whether it is placement, parents, children, and adults. The COVID-19 handling committee said there are people who have conditions that are more vulnerable to contracting COVID-19. This vulnerable group is people who have congenital disease are already have low body power and are obese. However, not all young people have a strong immune power. Therefore, even though the COVID vaccine has pros and cons in the community, it must still be implemented, and it is also better given to young people to avoid COVID. And if only vaccines are made to the elderly, then this COVID outbreak will not over quickly because COVID will only not attack elderly and transmission occur through young people. That is all for me.
The speaker, the closing government, Miss Septitriani, has spent 5 minutes or 6 seconds. Okay, we will move on to the next speaker. Closing opposition, Mr. Muhammad Rafiansyach Putra. The time is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Here, after I list all of speakers like opening government, closing government, opening opposition, and I choose the conclusion is the young must be inject the vaccine, but must be look at on cases in Purwokerto, and I just cases on Purwokerto, and the young, they are the young after inject the vaccine, but she, my own opinion is that those who have received the vaccine free not to wear a mask and not comply with the 5M. And it's like the true. we we pernah look at YouTube Rahmat after injection of vaccine, and he looks like feel free not wearing mask, and he not comply with the 5M. It's like, I know you after injection vaccine, it's not virus not come to you, and don't not comply with 5M. Hopefully the government continue to provide understanding of health protocol, not complete health protocol, even though they have received the COVID-19 vaccine. And I choose effect on injection vaccine. I choose data on Google, compasiana.com, and they are explain about after vaccine, he feels like feel pain on the body, and there's a 3 point of pain on the body. The first is very common, can affect more than one until 10 people. And the injection site, Tyra, is like the after injection vaccine, he feels like tired, he gets muscle ache on the point of injection vaccine, shivering, joint pain, and fever, and it's look like very common. Pain is not 1 day, 2 day. If it's like one minggu itu apa? One year tahun,
Week.
1 bulan. Yeah, it's like 1 week. Feels like pain. And second is common, can affect 1 until 10 people. And after injection vaccine, in the body, swelling at the injection site, and red at the injection site, nausea. And the last in unusual, it looks like in Indonesia, it's like parah after injection vaccine. Can affect in 1 until 100 people in large lymph nodes. On the nodes looks like apa ya? Looks like kaku on Indonesia, kaku.
Stiff.
And make it's we move the leg on the injection vaccine. It's look like kaku. Can we move? And there is a effect on why the young people must be injection vaccine, and make some how I'm explain this, like the younger makes some people afraid of the injection vaccine, wedi-wedian gitu setelah after effect on the body gitu. And people afraid to get a vaccine. Maybe that's it for and of closing government. Don't be a injection vacciner. You must be know after we get
Second
injection
bell.
vaccine, and maybe that's it for me. Wassalamualaikum wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The closing opposition has spent 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Okay. Now we move on to the next agenda, the scoring ya. Scoring deh ini. Okay. Champion. The champion, in my humble opinion, the champion should be the opposition. The reason why, because the point the points that are mentioned are quite strong. The data is good, and I don't think, especially for closing government, provided enough, what is it, enough statement or enough rebuttal from the previous opposition. So I don't think the government had a strong position here. So I have chosen the opposition as the champion of the debate. And the best speaker, in my opinion again, is Mr. Rafian. Why? I will explain. Because even though in my opinion again, Della uh, spoke quite well, and her points are good enough, but her timing is off. She only uh, spoke less than 3 minutes. So overall, Rossi here spent about 5 minutes and 53 seconds. Ani 5 minutes and 06, and Rafian 6 minutes and 12. And that's not all, because Rafian insists on his point that children should be considered not to be vaccinated. Yes. And then uh, gesture, his gesture is quite good, was quite good for, in my opinion, because everyone was flat and Rafian uses gestures, and I quite like it. The jury is has spoken. The jury has spoken. I'm sorry. Okay, and the language, the mixed language, is tolerable in my opinion. And my criticism for Rossi has stated that what is youth, what is considered as youngster or youth, is about 15 to 69. The definition of the youth is 15 to 69, and all of the speaker next to Rosiana didn't really stick to the definition. Rafiansyach stick to his age group, like children, and again Della to white, and didn't really speak about the youth, but the counterpoint with the elderly are vulnerable, etc. They had to be vaccinated more than the youth. And Rafian stick to his point about children, and I don't think all the speakers stick to the definition conveyed by Rossi. Okay, I will again pronounce the winner. The champion is the opposition group, and the best speaker, in my opinion, is Rafiansyach. And that's from me as the jury, adjudicator, and as, what is it, moderator. If what I have said may not be accepted by you, I'm sorry, because I'm just human. I cannot be absolutely objective. There will be something that is subjective that I convey to you, or I speak to you, or I tell you about my jurying also. There was mistakes, then I'm sorry about it. And wal akhir, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.